in this video, I will be building Hunters in Lego. Let's get into it. If you don't know what Hunters is, it's a Star Wars mobile game which you can play with all of your friends. It's got a selection of characters, maps, and it just came out with some new updates, so go check it out. To start this mock off, I put together a diorama, and then I put a little Star Wars logo tile on the edge, and then I started working on the walkway. To build the front walkway, I used a series of sideways building techniques, laying bricks on their side at different angles, and it turned out really nice. I spliced in a little bit of dark tan, and with the path done, let's head on to the rest of the build. I put together some tan parts and came out with this awesome building with a little bit blue highlight, and I decided to place that right on the side of the build. You may notice this part doesn't really have a lot of detail. That is because I will be adding something else to go and basically block out that space so you won't be able to see it, and you'll only be able to see the detailed side. This building consists of a lot of tan, got some tan borders up here going to the roof with a few light bluish gray and dark bluish gray things on the top, and then we've got a nice highlight stripe, a big one and a little one made from dark tan, and then we've got this nice blue highlighting which I just tried to incorporate because it fits with the color scheme of Hunters a little bit. Because they've got a lot of bright colors in that, I wanted to include that into this build. Something else I wanted to include in this mock was a nice staircase, so I built some up with metal looking paneling. They've got a few breaks in the metal plating, and then underneath I just have some colorful bricks for support, and then in the back I just have some nice gray bricks just to make it flush so the back looks at least cleanish. Down here you can see there's still some light bluish gray tiling because that will actually go with the actual ground that I've already built up that's already included on the base. I figured this detail out on one of my earlier mocks. It's just using a bunch of tiles and trying to put them where there's gaps in between, and it makes it look like a really futuristic and sleek staircase. So let's go ahead and add this onto the mock. So as I was putting this staircase on, I actually realized that there's a little bit of a slope right here. You can see it's going up a little. I was like, what is wrong with that? So then I checked, and it's 3 bricks tall right here and 2 plates. Right here, it's actually 4 bricks tall. I just guess I miscalculated. And so this is actually slightly bending the staircase, and that's why there's that slope. No, this is not intentional, so I'm gonna fix that real quick. Okay, so I just removed these 4 pieces, which I had right here, and now we've got this is pretty flush now. You can see there's no more slope right here, and then you just got 3 bricks tall and then 2 plating underneath this support plate. So fix that. So now the staircase is fully put in. So that's good. Now let's put in the next building. So you might be asking yourself, what is this? And that would be a building. So as you can see, it's split into different sections. The main part of the building is right here, and as you can see, I built it sideways, so there's plates as the walls instead of the flooring, because I wanted to get this really cool fading technique with some sand. Like, they built it out of sand and other materials, but I wanted to add maybe some worn texture, because I feel like you see that a lot in the Hunters game. So I decided to include that, along with this nice metal sleek stripe, which will go on top like this. Whoopsie. And then I added this nice roof, which will go on like so. And so that'll complete the building. So let's go ahead and add all the pieces together. So as I was putting that together, I realized that I actually put this one stud back. So I'm going to try that again, and I will put this together properly in its right positions. Otherwise, this would stick out way too far. There'd be this weird gap thing right here. So let me fix this real quick. So when I was originally building this, I debated between keeping this wall just like it was faded or adding something extra, but with this gray stripe and then this projection pipe thing, I decided to just leave it at that. And plus I added some stuff on the roof, so that I think that's enough detail. On the side here, you can see the stripe continues. It continues pretty much the same, but the fact that it looks a little bit, you can see it looks a little bit weird because it's actually not as clean as a fade as over here and not as detailed. But you can actually this looks fine once it's put next to the staircases, because all you can see is a little bit of dark tan, and I think it looks pretty cool, and it continues the fade, just not to the same level. On the top, you can see that it's got this nice grading and then 2 white texture pieces, and I wanted to add some different colors other than just gray for the roofing, because there's already a lot of gray on this build. So I added these white pods, and then I also added that blue on the other building. So I think it adds a little bit of color that it needed, and then I added I'll add some crates later, and that'll have a little bit more color too. I don't know about you, but I am definitely feeling some Star Wars Hunters vibes looking at this thing. I mean, the little highlights with a splash of color definitely adds a lot, and I will be adding a little bit more color. So let's go ahead and add some crates, and then we will add the figures, and I'll show which ones I decided to include in this build. The first figure I used was J3DI, who is like a droid Jedi mix thing, and he has a really cool, he has super cool art and robes and everything, so I tried to capture his unique headpiece with 3 different pieces, like a round tile, stud sort of thing, and then whatever that is, and I think it turned out pretty good. Not perfect, obviously. I'd love to get an actual figure of him, but for the pieces that I have, it turned out pretty good. For the opposing side, I decided to use Sentinel with his large blaster cannon, his strap over his chest, and I was even able to include the cool backpack. And I incorporated that all into one figure, and he looks very built, let's just say. And then I also included his Bomb Squad skin because it was the best I could come up with, plus it is actually in the show, so that is a plus to being able to use the yellow pauldron. So I also am going to include his power-up, which is 2 extra soldiers that show up. And then so he will be facing against J3DI. And so let's go ahead and put them on the build. With the minifigures added, the build is complete. And let me just say, there's so many techniques I figured out on this build, and I will definitely be using some of them in the future. So yeah, the build is done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want me to do more videos in this style, let me know in the comments below. So I'll see you, bro. I'm so good at rhyming. Okay, bye.